This edition of the FAXTORY Podcast Show is brought to you in part by Avon Motion Pictures. Remember, the FAXTORY Podcast Show is rated a special AE for any and everyone. View discretion is advised. Just kidding. I don't know how many times I got to reiterate that.
Up in the whip, we riding. Right hand on your thigh while I'm driving.
Yo, what's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the FAXTORY Podcast Show. I'm your man with the plan, Official.Fax.Koolaid, otherwise known as FAX.Koolaid, bro. I appreciate everybody that's been supporting. As I always say, shout out to everybody in the FAXTORY, all my new people, all my old people, and everything like that. Let's get straight into business. I am a speaker, not a yapper, but there's not going to be much speaking this episode, not going to lie. I experienced a very traumatic injury over the past weekend. I ain't going to lie. It's really not noticeable, but I got some stitches on my lip, not going to lie, and I'm going to explain how that happened. So I'm going to make this episode a little short, but I still wanted to come to y'all for the sake of consistency. It's very important for me to be practicing what I preach, regardless of what's going on, regardless of the circumstance. Yes, I am injured, and it does hurt to talk. I may sound normal, but I ain't gonna lie, I really am toughing this out. So this episode is not gonna be long. I just want to cover a couple things that, one, people asked me to talk about, and then things that have been trending. It was very necessary for me to come during this exact time right now. Before I tackle a few things, there's only gonna be a few things. Let me explain how I got this injury, bro. Let me explain how I got these stitches on the right side of my mouth, yo. So, what many people do not know about me, here's a fun fact, or should I say fun facts, cha-cha-ching. Besides podcasting and being a musician, I am a skater. I know how to skate. Oh, I thought you were just a podcaster. No, I know how to skate, bro. Like, this is what I do, you know what I'm saying? Though I may not have a lot of time to go nowadays, I skate. You know what I'm saying? I know how to skate. If you didn't know that, now you do. Every blue moon, I go to the best skating rink in Houston. It's called Bear Creek. It's literally like a club, but on skates. It's literally, they call it Club Creek, bro. So I'm at Club Creek on a random Friday night for a friend's birthday party. Shout out Kayla. And you know what I'm saying? I get there, people know who I am because I'm pretty known in like the skate community, not just in Houston, but you know what I'm saying, ATL, a few other places, right? I'm in there, I'm turned up. Bro, for some reason, bro, that skating rink, bro, I'm having a garage time, bro. I'm having a good old time. My boy Z-Real's DJing, he's killing it per usual, bro. Here's the deal, bro. This is, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty traumatic to talk about, bro. In skating rinks, there is a unwritten rule, right? If you're a pro skater, AKA if you have black skates, if you just know how to keep yourself from falling more than the average skater, more than the average rental skater, you skate on the outside, right? You don't know how to skate, don't go on the outside lane. It is a forbidden place for you to be skating. Now, I said it's an unwritten rule. I want to make a public declaration from this day forward. That unwritten rule needs to become an actual rule. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, if you are a non-pro skater and you are on the outside of the skating rink, like where people are skating fast, you should be penalized for that. I ain't gonna lie to you. You should be warned, and after a few times of doing that, you should be kicked out the skating rink. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Because let me tell you what happened to me, right? Like, we should really call it the Fax.Koolaid skating rule. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Because this injury, bro, yo, let me tell you what happened, bro. I'm skating on the outside, bro. I'm doing ATL style. Literally, like, we're doing the exact thing that they were doing in ATL. If you know, you know. I'm coming full speed, and a skater who doesn't know how to skate, you know what I'm saying, wearing the rental skates, us skaters, we call them brownies. He's about to fall over backwards, and according to Newton's law of motion, when you fall backwards, your arms start to swing. I'm skating full speed. This random dude is falling backwards. His arm is swinging. As he's falling down, his right wrist, preferably this part with the bone, catches me on the way down. I didn't even fall. He fell. But my glasses popped off, my hat popped off, and there's a pool of blood coming from my face. Lip split open, bro. And it's so funny because, like, as somebody that's been skating for a minute, you're used to sometimes getting hit by rental skaters. You know what I'm saying? But this was really different, yo. Like, I was so pissed, but I couldn't even go off on this dude because I feel a lot of liquid coming from my face. I'm bleeding hard than a hoe. Literally, I go to the bathroom because I ain't gonna lie, they playing my song, they playing that ATL music. I'm trying to get back on there. And I see that my lip is split all the way open. It was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I've never seen myself bleed the way I did. I'm over here trying to get back on the skating rink. Meanwhile, security and a whole lot of people was all like, yo, like, you need to go to the ER. Like, if you leave that open, you're going to be bleeding all night. I call to every skating rink in the nation, yo, on the night where skaters, like real skaters go, there needs to be a rule, bro. If you go on the outside lane and we see you, you get kicked out of the skating rink. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. This was the worst injury I've ever sustained, by far, I've ever sustained at the skating rink, bro. But that's why this episode is gonna be short, bro. And you know what I'm saying? I'm good now, you know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to be doing birthday pictures, graduation pictures soon, but I had to push everything back because of these stitches in my mouth. Yeah, it's not really all that noticeable, you know what I'm saying? But it hurts, I ain't gonna lie to you. But let's get into these few topics so I can hurry up and wrap up this episode. Biggest news of what's going on this week, right, bro? National championship game. Now, oh man, oh God. As I've been very vocal the past couple episodes about University of Houston going all the way. When I made my first predictions during March Madness, which is, again, if you don't know what that is, that's a college basketball tournament that's held every year in March, bro. At the end, a national championship is crowned. For the past couple of weeks, I've been saying my predictions, and I swear I've been almost 100% right on everything I said. I predicted what the Final Four was going to be. I predicted who was going to win both the games, and I was right up until the championship game. And as we know, UH lost. Now, I had a ticket to go to the Final Four in San Antonio, but I decided not to go because I wanted to be on UH's campus after they won that championship game. If you've never experienced a championship win in your city, I promise you, you ain't seen nothing, bro. It is the craziest experience ever. I decided to forego my ticket to the Final Four because I wanted to be in Houston on UH's campus when they won. I'm at the watch party, bro. Everybody's bro, they led the entire game. Now, I will say it was very, very mysterious because at halftime, UH was only winning by, I think, they were only winning by 6 points or 2 points or 4 points. It was something. And Walter Clayton had 0 points, and they were only up by a few points. I was like, I ain't gonna lie, that's not a good sign. They ended up coming back to haunt them later. Because second half, oh my God, bro. When them final minutes came, I know we all seen the game. When the final minutes came, when I tell you I was at What It Do Barbecue on UH's campus, they had a watch party. When I tell you the energy gradually started, like everybody started getting scared. Because when you're winning the whole game and then all of a sudden it seems like there's a chance that defeat is coming, oh, you don't know how to handle that, bro. So let's get it into the last plays, right? So Florida takes the lead. Now UH has the ball. I got it on video and everything. Yo, when Emmanuel Sharp rose and dropped the ball, I kid you not, somebody on the other side of the room literally fell to their knees, bro. Because as you know, you can't get it back. At that point, it was only a few seconds left, bro. I'm talking about as soon as the clock hit 000, it felt unreal, bro. When I tell you, folks started crying up in that place, bro. Like, I've never in my life seen such a that by far takes the cake of the most tragic title ending I've ever seen to a game, bro. It was the saddest thing I've ever seen. Now, you gotta be honest for a second, and I knew that this was gonna happen, unfortunately. Y'all are dragging it. Not even gonna lie to you. Death threats to Emmanuel Sharp is insane. It's very insane, especially knowing that he was the main reason why y'all got to the Final Four. Yeah, we understand LJ Cryer went crazy, 26 points to lead them over Duke, but Emmanuel was the real reason why at the end, like at the closing stretch of that Final Four game, they ended up coming back over Duke. You know what I'm saying? So for Emmanuel to get death threats, especially when people are on Twitter showing a screenshot of when he caught the ball and when Walter Clayton was far behind, I ain't gonna lie. I challenge anybody to get that shot off with Walter Clayton's closeout. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. There was no way he was gonna get that shot off. Now, I personally would have preferred LJ getting the ball, but Emmanuel Sharp getting the ball is not a bad decision. The fact that he didn't get a shot off is the most heartbreaking part, but I ain't gonna lie. Death threats? Is it really that deep? Like, it just shows you how fast folks are to turn on you when you're in sports, bro. It is never that deep, bro. But boy, I tell you, bro, UH's campus was a ghost town, bro. I don't even go to UH. I go to TSU right across the street. I felt like I went to UH seeing everybody's mood after they lost, bro. Like, it was the most unbelievable sight I've ever seen in my life. I don't ever want to experience anything like that ever again. That UH team is still legendary. Probably the best Houston team, like, of all time, and nothing will come close to that. I think the saddest part about it is that, bro, there are so many players on that team. There are so many players on that team that are graduating. Some might transfer. I personally don't think UH is going to go back. I'm going to keep it a band. The chances are so low that they go back, especially with the talent in college basketball being crazy next year. So many people are in the portal. So many people are coming from high school. A great recruiting class from high school. It's not going to be the same. So that was why so many elements add to why it was so heartbreaking. Then Walter Clayton did not have a good game, and they still couldn't pull it out. It's very, very sad. But at the end of the day, shout out that UH squad, bro. LJ, all y'all know I speak very highly on LJ, but other players on that team, bro, legendary team, just couldn't get it done. And it is what it is. Now, speaking on the trend of college, right, on TikTok, oh man, I'm so annoyed to talk about this, but I had to talk about it because people wanted me to speak on this. I did not want to speak on this, but people wanted me to speak on this. The discord about black men not going to college anymore. First of all, let me start off by saying I knew, and listen to me very closely, I never wanted to speak on this, bro. Ever. You wanna know why? I felt like this was by far the dumbest Discord we have ever had, bro. You wanna know why, bro? There are too many lenses. There are too many layers to this conversation. And there are many right answers. But the thing when it comes to TikTok and Instagram about this Discord is that, bro, people feel like it should only be looked at from one lens, bro. When you see, let me just break it down, because I knew that if I talked about it, it was going to be after. This whole conversation sparked about a week ago from today. But now the conversation is dying down. So now I feel like, let me break down the things that people have been saying. Basically, the Discord is black men are not going to college anymore, and people are trying to figure out why. Now, when folks ask me why I don't speak on it, I always, what I was telling people within these past 7 days is, first of all, I am African. I'm Nigerian. Yes, I was born here, but my parents are from Nigeria. With African kids, I'm not gonna say going to college is a requirement, but it's like, yo, the thing about our parents, right? We know what they had to do to get us to America. We know what they had to go through for us to be raised in America. We want to take that initiative to make them proud and go to college and be great because of what they had to do to get here. It is not easy being in Africa, growing up there, and getting your cards right to come to America. And that's really for any family whose origins are not from America. So with us, we want to go above and beyond when we get to America. That's a little different with us. We know we're going to college. We all wanted to play sports just like regular American kids. We all wanted to achieve all these dreams, which I'm going to get to in a second. But we knew that regardless, college is in there and we're going to go there. And we're going to find some way. To battle it out and be successful out of college. That survivor's mentality that us Africans have, it's what drives us. That I don't know too many African kids that don't go to college. You know what I'm saying? And it's just because of what our parents instilled in us. So the first thing I look at with black men not going to college is upbringing. And I'm not talking about parenting. I'm talking about when you're young, ask the average 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old what they want to do when they grow up. You're not going to hear lawyer. You're not going to hear mechanical engineer. You're not going to hear any of that. You're going to hear things that the average person wants to do that's fun. You're going to hear the dream. You're going to hear sports. You're going to hear music. You're going to hear entertainment. You're going to hear these things. There's absolutely nothing wrong with a parent pushing their kid to want to succeed in a sport. When you see folks like LeBron James, when you see all these rappers and singers, any parent would dream of their kid living a lifestyle where they're doing their talent and making money from it, and that money is benefiting the parent. That is any parent's dream. So why exactly are parents being penalized for that? You know what I'm saying? You can't expect a 9-year-old, an 8-year-old, especially when all they watch growing up is sports and listen to music, and expect them to not put their all into that. So what happens when they put their all into that, right? They grow. Middle school, high school. Now, once you get to high school, like the end of high school, you know whether your sports career is going to pan out or not. Let's say it doesn't pan out. It can be an adjustment, bro, especially when you don't like school, bro. Many high schoolers that hate high school don't know that they're going to love college, bro. You will be surprised how many high schoolers said, bro, I'm not going to college because I'm tired of doing work, bro, period, bro. Because at the end of the day, bro, you should not be sending your kids to college if they don't want it, because guess what's going to happen if they don't want it? They're going to go to college. They're going to utilize and take advantage of the perks, the fun things that come with college, the partying, the girls, the posting up, the chilling, the kickbacks, all of that. But they're not gonna handle business. They're not gonna handle their work. They're not gonna prepare themselves to become somebody after college. That's why sometimes you see dropouts, and that's why you also see people graduate and then not know where to go with their degree. Instead of pushing your kid to go to college, you should push your kid to acquire the behaviors that a successful person will have. I ain't gonna lie, if you send your kid to college and that same kid was skipping class every day in high school, never taking anything seriously, was a problem child, you're setting your son up for failure, bro. Going to college don't make you rich. It's how you handle it, bro. I always tell people, when you go to college, you need to finesse. You need to finesse everything, bro. Get the connections, grow relationships, find ways, bro. Literally, it's about what you do with it. I have a journalism degree, right? Fun fact, and this is in my bio, I want to be a news reporter one day, right? But I also do this. My journalism degree taught me how to do this. It taught me how to use mics. It taught me how to use cameras. It taught me how to wire things. It taught me how to script things. It taught me how to speak professionally versus speaking in this type of ebonic form. My thing is, I had to finesse what I knew through my degree to not create the platform. So when people say things, and it might seem like I'm kind of going off topic, but when people say that college is a scam, I don't believe college is a scam. And I said this last episode, bro. It's what you make it, bro. And if you send a kid to college without him knowing that college is what you make it, there's a great chance that he may not succeed and he might grow to hate his major. That happens every day. I'm in college. I'm finna graduate in a few days. This happens all the time, bro. You know how many people don't like their majors? They went to college because either their parents forced them to, but you still applaud that same person because he went over the person that didn't, that's making money. Whether you want to accept it or not, two things can be true. Multiple things can be true. And that's why this Discord is one of the worst, most time-wasting conversations I've ever heard. It is very true that if you go to college, that you are educated and that you have a great chance of getting a job if you play your cards right. But it's also true that many people graduate with these degrees and don't know what to do with it. It's also true that many people graduate with these degrees that has the capability of earning you a lot of money, but they still don't know where to go from it. And they still struggle to find a job. It's very true that a lot of people that don't go to college end up becoming bums. But it's also true that it's folks that didn't go to college that make six figures, bro. It's very true that there are a lot of people that did not go to college that are banking, bro. I always talk about my friend group. I always say, bro, my friend group was full of bosses and future millionaires. Real talk. With my high school circle, fun fact, all six of us, we are all doing good. Only one of us went to college. And you're looking at the person that went to college. Yet, we are all good financially right now. 22, 23, 24-year-olds, we are all good right now, bro. And I am the only person that went to college, bro. This conversation is so dumb because it's so layered, bro. Multiple things can all be true. Yes, it's true that many black men are not going to college because they focused on chasing the dream, sports, music, entertainment, and then when it got time for them to realize that they weren't going to get that, they couldn't adjust. And it's also true that many people did not go to college because they just didn't want to, bro. It's also true that many people did not go to college because their parents didn't push the idea and they couldn't get the right support. I think the thing about people in these think pieces on TikTok, on Instagram, on these podcasts, even though I'm being a hypocrite because I'm giving my own now, I digress, is the fact that y'all are trying to make it seem like it's one reason as to why these things are the way it is, and it's not. If we could just sit back and understand that every situation is situational, every person is a different situation, then there would be no need for us to have these conversations, bro. I'm not here to say that this person is wrong, this person is right when it comes to this conversation, but it's like, yo, just don't feel like this discourse is necessary at all. Because at the end of the day, nothing is going to change. If there was ever a point in time where you could not go to college and be successful, it's definitely now. You got streamers, content creators, athletes, rappers. There's so many different ways to make money. Just to speak a little bit, because a part of the discourse, which again I hate, is that women are going to college way more than men. It seems like parents are growing their women, like their daughters, to go to college more than men. Well, let me say this. I mentioned the dream earlier. Most kids want the dream, whether that's playing sports professionally or music or being an artist, whatever their talent is where you don't need a college degree. But guess what? Most of those career fields and most of those, you know what I'm saying, like zones are dominated by men. Basketball, football, dominated by men. You see the millions that these dudes are making in the NFL and the NBA and the MLB. However, in the respective female leagues, the WNBA, is there a national volleyball league? Track, all that, it's not, the money is not really there. I guarantee you, if the WNBA was making men money, if it was just as popular, if there was a female football league, if there was a national volleyball league, where they was making NBA, NFL money, if there was a national track league, just kind of like the NBA, where women can make that much money, you would see this exact problem with women too. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You would see a lot less women in college because they're chasing the dream just like men. I'm not giving no type of excuse, but it's like, yo, this conversation is too layered. And the fact that many people are trying to give their 2 cents on everything and trying to act like this person is wrong and they're the only person that's right, it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. Depending on how this goes, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm always open to talking about these things in DMs, you know what I'm saying? Or even when I bring back the call-ins, obviously, we can speak on this. Now, before I round up, because again, my mouth is hurting, bro, I gotta speak sports just for a little bit, even though I spoke the NCAA, but now I gotta speak NBA. So everybody knows I'm a Denver Nuggets fan. Go Nuggets. But right now, it's not Go Nuggets because I just learned that Michael Malone just got fired. Literally, right before I started recording this episode, I learned that he got fired. I want to apologize to my church folk that might be watching because there's about to be some profanity. Yo, Nuggets, what the fuck are we doing right now? What are we doing, bro? There is no amount of words or explanation that can convince me that this was anything other than the wrong decision. What exactly are we looking for, bro? You got a coach in Michael Malone who just won a championship less than a few years ago. Ever since then has copped another #1 seed and right now is currently #4 in the Western Conference. You don't fire a coach that just took the team to the finals just a few years ago and has had nothing but winning records. We're talking about a team that has never been lower than the 4th seed all these years, bro. The resume is there. So I'm asking to my Nuggets, I don't understand what we are looking for, what we are doing with this decision right now. I'm really, like, I promise you, ever since I heard this news, I've been trying to find a single positive thing about the firing of Michael Malone. And I really can't find it, bro. I have seen many head scratcher decisions when it comes to coach firing and team organization decisions. None being more of a head scratcher than this shit. Not gonna lie to you, bro. I don't understand what we are doing right now. Like there is clearly something that we don't know. There's clearly something that we don't know. How are teams supposed to take us seriously as a threat in the Western Conference if we are showing, like, the playoffs are about to start in a few weeks, bro? Literally, the season is days away, and we're making this drastic of a move, bro. I don't care what was going on in that organization. There's no reason why you are dropping the same coach that took us to the finals just a few years ago. Team almost really the same. And you decide that he is not good enough for us to go through these playoffs. Now, I understand the last 10 games we've lost 7 of 10. I understand that. But, yo, this is the end of the season. How do you expect this team, oh my God, my stitches are coming off. How do you expect this team to have the utmost confidence when our leader is not there and the playoffs are about to start? Like, bro, like, this is between UH losing last night and this shit. I am so, like, bro, like, I just need a break. It just has me absolutely befuddled, my dig. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I'm a firm believer that we can beat anybody, bro. Real talk. I believe if you not OKC or the Boston Celtics, everybody else is food. I ain't gonna lie to you. My confidence is not where it's at because clearly there are some problems in that organization. It's just like, bro, if I'm so mad I'm not in the Denver Nuggets front office because, bro, they have some impossible decisions to make. I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. Before I end off this short mini episode, I also got to speak Kobe because I ain't gonna lie. There's been a discourse on ESPN and TikTok about Kobe. There's two types of people when it comes to Kobe. There are people that understand that for a long time, whether you want to say on a delusional note or not, Kobe was always top 3, top 5, bare minimum, top 6. Then you got people that was all like, oh, Kobe's never been top 10. Kobe's never been the best player in the league, ever. Kobe has never been that. Oh, y'all only saying this because he died. No, we are not, bro. Nobody, bro, everybody knows that for a large period, especially of the late 2000s and early 2010s, Kobe was always in a lot of people's top 3. Now, whether he deserved to be there or not, that's not what I'm arguing. All I'm saying is when people sit up on social media and be like, there was never a time where Kobe was in people's top 3 or top 5, I'm now looking at you crazy because what are you talking about, bro? Before he died, after he died, before January 26th, after January 26th, 2020, Kobe was always in people's top 5 and top 3. Kobe is the only player in the history of the NBA to fluctuate from being the greatest player of all time to being outside the top 10 of all time. Literally, and I'm gonna get to this. This is gonna be my last point of this episode. Many people on social media, many analysts of sports that were never in the league are always the main people saying, oh, well, Kobe was never top 10. Kobe was never in anybody's top 5. Kobe wasn't even like that for real. He's not even a top 5 greatest Laker, even though that was Jason Williams that said that. But a lot of people agreed with that. Yet, people who've played against Kobe, with Kobe, and alongside Kobe, in the same league, in the same era, that have been in the NBA, all collectively agree that Kobe is a top 5 player of all time. You ask many NBA players, where does Kobe rank on your all-time list? None of them have Kobe outside the top 10. Yet, I'm supposed to listen to these folks on TikTok and these folks on these shows and on these radio shows and on these podcasts try to convince me on why Kobe has never been a top 10 player of all time. Who do you think I'm going to believe? Really be serious right now. Really be serious. Now, before I end this episode, because I can't, no matter how short the episode is, I always got to leave with something like, and I ain't gonna say inspirational, but something that I felt like was on my heart throughout the week, bro. I keep talking about discipline, bro. Discipline. Discipline is literally ignoring something you want right now for whatever you want later on in life, bro. When you're doing these things that you don't want to do, it's because of what you want later. Understand that playtime is not right now, but playtime is when you're successful and when you got everything you wanted because of how you grind it out now. Like, the thing about discipline, and bro, I'm telling you, bro, whenever I hear people be like, yo, Koolaid, like, your pod is like, bro, like, I be inspired by like what you say, bro. Like, I want to do it. Like, I know it's an easy hustle. Easy? Who said it was easy? I don't even got 1,000 subs yet, bro. Do you know what I got to do each and every day to do this? You might just see me speaking on the mic and think that it's just easy, but it's a lot of work that goes into it. And it's like discipline that needs to be there. If there's no discipline, I'm not going to be with the person that I say I'm going to be a few years from now, bro. The only reason I'm able to come to you is because of discipline and consistency. And of course, we're not perfect. But what I want to tell you is, bro, if you're struggling with discipline, pray for that and make sure that you have to get that sooner, bro. Always do something right now before it's too late, bro. Because no matter what challenges you go through, when you get that discipline right now, you're going to know that you got the power to get through it, literally. Through you being that person that was always serious about what you had to do, that's what's going to take you through this next season. That's what's going to take you through that next hill, bro. But I'm not going to speak too long again. Shout out to Skating Ring for giving me these stitches. Yeah, y'all already know the vibes, bro. Make sure y'all send y'all's Q&As and y'all's call-in requests because we're bringing that back episode 15. Fax.Koolaid, I do not make the rules.
Imagine seeing